Hey, what's going on, guys? Kalamazi here, and today, another beta build hit, and with it came a good bit of Warlock changes. Again, we're getting a lot of changes every week, but hey, honestly, I'll take them because, well, yeah, it's cool, exciting, and hopefully most of them end up being pretty decent. Today, a bit of a mixed bag of things. Not really sure how to feel about it all, but we're going to look at it all in this video and talk about it today. Also, heads up for those that are asking, the 12.0 Warlock Beta Midnight Spreadsheet is indeed now live on Patreon for the Tier 3 Felgar rank or higher if y'all want early access to it. It always goes public before the expansion or patch comes out, due to every patch, but if you want early access to it, the Tier 3 Felgar rank or higher gets it on Patreon, and yeah, that's there. But people were asking about it. There you go. Day. Now, getting into all that, a couple things here. There's raid testing today as well. This video is coming out like 8 in the morning. There's testing today at 2 p.m. to I think 6 p.m. roughly. I'll be streaming that on Twitch as well as here on YouTube. As it's today and tomorrow, Thursday and Friday. I'm like 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. something like that Eastern. We're testing mythic bosses. We did these already on heroic, but now there's all mythic ones. 4 bosses today and 3 tomorrow. Very exciting. Be doing that. If you guys want to check it out, feel free to come by and hang out, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'll have videos on YouTube as well of the mythic bosses and the changes and everything. So, but getting into the changes, we're gonna go through everything here. I might show a little bit of it in game as well, but there's a decent bit of changes. I want to show what like trees look like pathing wise and go from there. I'll probably make another video on combat testing, maybe like in a few days. Demo's bugged right now with one of the talents, giving it a really big damage increase. It probably needs to be fixed for testing today, or it's gonna be interesting. But regardless, let's get into it. So, for hero talents, Diabolus, Touch of Rancora, which increases the damage of hand. Bolt, Rain of Fire, Shadowburn was nerfed by a crazy amount from 100 to 20. They're probably going to shift damage away from Touch of Rancora or his abilities a bit. This is a pretty substantial nerf to this. In the end, it's tuning. Tuning is tuning. Like, it's all sort of relative based on other classes and where things are at, but this is a very large nerf and a very big shift of power out of Rancora. This could also be possibly due to the fact like Shadowburn's a button you can hit for Destro now every so often with like a proc if you're playing it. Not really sure where it's gonna go, but interesting. Eye explosion damage was reduced by 30%. It's doing a lot, not surprising. Hellcaller Wither for AF got hit by a large amount, 35%. Spoilers, AF got nerfed today on top of this again. Wither's still a large portion of your damage as Affliction with Hellcaller, and I don't know, I'm not really sure if this was needed or this big of a nerf was needed. We'll see where it goes. It's hard to place like raw buffs and nerfs right now, unless you're like a Shadow Priest or a certain class is really, really strong, because tuning's all over the place, and it's hard to see or say where things are going to land for everybody. Like, what's their margin? Like, where do they want to be damage-wise, tuning-wise, right? We don't really know. But it's obvious they've identified AF and Hellcaller in certain areas as pretty strong, probably too strong, so we'll see where that goes. Soul Harvester was changed for Affliction. This is always a weird change. It's always hard to tell what changed with this thing when they tweak it, but they basically made Succulent Souls affect UA and Seed, not just Seed anymore, and spawn the sky. So there's that. That's cool. The bigger changes, though. So Affliction has changed a good bit. There's a new talent, Nether Plating. It gives your Dark Lair armor. It is literally this guy. Oh, this guy. Vizidum from that place. Karazhan. I think it's Vizidum at the end. Return to Karazhan. It's finally him. He's armored. He's here. Even his rolls have armor. Very cool. He's very strong now. That's him. He takes less damage from armor increase, no big deal, it's just flavor. Eye Beam now jumps to up to 4 additional targets and deals 10% increased damage. It looks like there's no visual for this yet, but it is working in game from what I've seen. So the AoE Dark Lair at M+ we had, I think it was Grim Reach for a little while, like in Legion or something like that, maybe it was like Shadowlands, is back. It makes it feel impactful and plus outside of extensions on DOS and multiple targets. Get to that in a minute. It does damage with I-Beam now whenever you hit it in AoE. Pretty cool. See where that goes. Fatal Echo's been updated. UA expired. It has a 10% chance to reapply itself. It was 4%. Fatal Echoes is sitting right here. This was 4%. It's now 10. Apparently this only works. How do I phrase this? Apparently this only works for the last iteration of Unstable Affliction. Like, if I have 5 UAs rolling on a target, it won't have a chance to proc until the previous 4 fall and the last one falls. It has to be like the last remaining iteration of UA, and then there's a chance for us to proc. I don't know if that's true. I haven't tested it yet. It very well could be. I haven't really noticed it proccing much on targets multiple stacks of UA. If that's the case, this is pretty daggum bad. It might just be bugged, but it needs to be like any UA, not like the one final remaining UA or like the solo initial UA, right? It needs to be like any UA you have active can reproc, because without that, it's just horrendous. But need to confirm that and go from there. But it was buffed to 10 from 4. That's good. So they've changed Cold a Week as well. Now, Cold a Week had a 5-second cooldown reduction on it last week, but it was only for Seed of Corruption. It wasn't UA. Now they've made it so it's UA and Seed of Corruption, but it's 3 seconds. Spoilers ahead, this is still pretty strong, especially for like Soul Harvester, AF, and single target. Keep in mind, Soul Harvester generates shards whenever you cast Dark Harvest. It gives you 3 shards, and they're all succulent. You're casting this thing once every half a minute, probably, with this reduction on it. It's very, very strong. Soul Harvester and Hellcaller play pretty different now. I don't think Hellcaller even plays this in single target. I don't think, or AoE. I could be wrong, but Soul Harvester does for sure. It is very, very good. It's constant shard gen. UA feels like Shadow Bolt with that version of the spec. So we'll see where that goes. It looks pretty interesting. On top of that, you have changes to Dark Glare. Now, we'll hit these two. They nerfed UA by 25. Agony was nerfed by 40. Visionary has been removed. Yeah, they nerfed Agony by a bunch. Probably wasn't needed. I don't know. We'll see. UA was nerfed again. I'm worried about our target swapping for AF. It wasn't bad actually before, because dots did damage. And like dots did damage quickly off the rip, with Agony having a max 8 stacks and UA doing a lot of damage in the first place, and then or Wither doing damage too. They've all been hit today, so I'm curious how it feels in testing. It might be okay still, depending on what other classes they're at. I don't know, but I'm a little worried about that. We'll see where that's at. So Dark Glare has been changed. Summoning a Dark Glare and twisting another. The Dark Glare increases the damage of Agony, Corruption, Wither, all your dots, by 20% while active. The Dark Glare serves you for 20 seconds. Blasting a target with shadow damage, it's the same thing. Increased by 10%, was 45 for every dot over time you have active on their current target. This should be dynamic, updating like per dot you have active. I don't think it has a buff on the Dark Glare, but it should update dynamically. Same as Tyrant now, right? The difference here, so they nerfed this modifier, but they buffed Dark Glare's eye beam damage by 80%. So it should hopefully even out roughly. It's hard to say exactly right now. The big thing here, it took me 2 reads to get it. Dark Glare does not extend dots anymore. So like UA, Wither, Corruption, if you didn't play Absolute, and Agony, but they're all not extendable anymore. UA extensions are gone. Agony extension's gone. Dark Glare does not extend dots anymore. There's no way to do it. Dark Harvest had that functionality for a while. Now it's gone as well. They made notes here talking about it. Adjusting Dark Glare. Pooling shards was to be valuable with this newer design. It deviates from the snapshot gameplay and should make pressing UA after its summoning more worthwhile. So you're actually going to be pressing Unstable Affliction and stacking your UAs after your Dark Glare. So you're going to open up probably by, like precasting a Haunt, Agony, Corruption, or Wither, whatever it is, and probably just hitting Dark Glare. And then you stack UAs after that. So you give Agony a couple seconds to stack to like 7 or 8, but then realistically you hit Dark Glare and then start casting UAs, because it'll buff the active UAs by 20%. But if you cast them beforehand, if they're rolling when you hit it, yeah, they'll have more damage on them, but they don't have an extension anymore, so they're going to have less duration on them. It's a very weird change of pace from how AF has played for a while. It's going to be very polarizing. I think some are going to like it, some aren't going to like it. I think it's making AF quality of life a good bit worse, not having Dark Harvest around or Dark Glare extensions, but I feel I could be wrong here. I'm not Blizzard, obviously. I think I could totally be wrong, but I mentioned this a few months ago when UA came back and they removed the stacking of it. It can stack past 5 now. I think what might be happening is Blizzard has realized that you can't really tune an uncapped UA with dot extensions being a thing, with things like shard instability, with things like Fatal Echo's a thing, with other effects that can reapply UA or buff UA, and then also extend them. There's a lot of RNG to it, and it's very hard to tune in single target, as well as council, as well as spread cleave. It's really tough to tune that. And I think it's probably the case here. I could be wrong. I don't know. But when you had Dark Lair and Dark Harvest together last time, you had literally almost a half-minute UA. If you went like Dark Lair, Dark Harvest with UAs rolling. Like some of them were just like almost half a minute long. You could stack like 5 of them to like 7 or 8, depending on shard instability procs, depending on shard gen, depending on other things too. Are you Soul Harvester or Hellcaller? There's so much variance with all the effects that give extra shards or refunds or additional UAs or reapplications. It's just too much to balance with extensions being a thing. I think it's why they're getting rid of it. At least part of it. Maybe not fully, I could be wrong. But honestly, I sort of agree. I think it's better to have uncapped UA with the things like shard instability, with reapplications in game. Those talents make it so it can't really be capped at 5. But at the same time, it makes quality of life extensions a bit tougher to balance. Probably not a thing anymore. We're going to see where it goes. When I played Soul Harvester After earlier, it felt great. That's because Cold of the Week is probably a bit overtuned with shard gen. But I mean, it still felt weird playing around Dark Lair's like non-extension. And I don't know if I like it in the long run. We're going to see where it goes. But that's AF. So very briefly, I'm hiding in my pillar up here. Nobody can find it. It's my bugged pillar that's hidden from the rest of the world. We'll hop down here. Nobody saw. We're going to look at it very briefly in combat. We're going to do an AF, Demo, and Destro. Hopefully in one take here because I'm tired and we'll go to bed. But we'll do single target. We did AF testing. We'll do Soul Harvester. We did single target, or we did AoE AF the last couple weeks on stream with like Dark Harvest with and without. It's the same thing. You spam seed a bunch. Harvest is off cooldown every 20 seconds. You hit it. It's the same thing. Single target for Soul Harvester has changed a bit though, and for Hellcaller too, but Soul Harvester even more, because you're playing Dark Harvest in single target, and this is also now reduced by UA and seed. So let's say we're heading into a pack here. Pull my pet out. Keep in mind, we're casting UAs after our Dark Lair, not before. So if we open up here, Agony is going to spread to this mob. I know it's active. I just can't do anything about it. We're going to cast a Haunt. Agony. Corruption. I'll probably roll like a UA or 2 here. I'm going to Dark Harvest to generate shards for Soul Harvester. I'm going to Dark Lair, Trinket, and then roll a bunch of UAs. Like UA. Look at my Agony. It's going to fall. I got to catch my Agony. So weird. Then we Malefic Grasp. Catch my Haunt. Keep dumping. Keep dumping. UA. Malefic Grasp. Grasp. Dump a UA. Grasp. Look at my Dark Harvest cooldown. It's almost off cooldown again already. Guess what? 2 more UAs. Agony Refresh. Now it is off cooldown basically. Dark Harvest again. 2, 3, 4. Almost 5 shards with the regen coming in here, right? UA. Shadow Bolt. Look at my Dark Harvest cooldown. It has less than half a minute on the cooldown basically again already. The 3-second CDR is still very strong, even in single target. In AoE, it's seed based, but it's nearly the same thing cooldown reduction wise, right? A few Shadow Bolts, a couple UAs here. UA. Look who's back on cooldown. Dark Harvest. I just ran out of shards. Guess what? Now I have 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4. UA. Catch that Agony. Why not? Sure. Okay, I'm overcapping. Haunt. UA. There's no concern about refreshing Cascading Calamity here as AF. It's just permanently up because you're spamming UA. I have 5 UAs rolling and I'm capped on shards. Why can't I cast more? Oh, my thing bugged. I think my thing's bugged. Okay, I have less than 5 shards, I'm pretty sure. I think my bar bugged, but it's fine. Either way, I have Dark Harvest again here. Yeah, it's bugged, but it's fine. It bugged out. I had so many shards. There you go. But you can see until the very end there, when I was hard spamming down to cast my Dark Harvest again, I was capped on shards. I don't even know how many shards I have right now. I can just keep playing without it. I don't even need to know. UA. I have 4. 4 stacks are rolling. Great. Who needs an add-on track resource? Just keep pressing UA. You probably got enough shards anyways, right? UA. I don't know how many are here. Gonna refresh my Agony. Roll 1 for the road. Sure, why not? I'm gonna Dark Harvest before my Dark Lair to pool for everything. Dark Lair. Now. UA. 5. And Harvest is off cooldown again in half a minute. The playstyle for Soul Harvester actually feels pretty decent. With that, I don't expect this CDR to stick around. It probably becomes like 1.5 seconds or something like that. It's pretty wild though. Yeah. Hellcaller feels the same as it used to before, without like, you know, the insane Dark Harvest refunds. You just literally cast UAs after your Dark Lair. So there's that. But you really don't want to sit on Dark Harvest with the shard gen that it brings in. You more just want to hit it. If Dark Lair is pushed back 10 seconds, so be it. You deal with it. It's just that good. So that's that. So that's AF. Now, moving on from Affliction, we have Demonology. So Demo got a handful of changes today again, too. I'll say off the bat here, I'm actually really sad this is gone. They removed the Eyes of Gul'dan and the Evil Eyes and the red beams from Eyes of Gul'dan. These were so cool. It was like top 5 coolest ability I ever had on Warlock in the game. It was so cool seeing the eyes spawn in and shoot the big red beams. It was so sick, and they're gone. Why are they gone? Why? Bring them back, please. It's so cool. I said to myself last week, off stream, I bet they don't last another week or two. No idea why, and they're gone. They were so cool, man. This is gone. The cool Sargeras death beams are gone from Destro's Apex talent. That looked cooler than we have now. The Dreadlords, the OG version looked better when it had the big mushroom cloud. Like, man, I want it back, but what can you do? Anyways, I'm back. So Demonology changes today. A couple like tuning passes. They buff Hand of Gul'dan by 20, Imp damage by 50, Felgar by 60, Fel Ravager 120, Imp Lure 120. Remove this, and Doom buffed by 50 as well. The bigger changes, they've introduced Hellbent Commander and to Hell and Back in place of these two talents right here. I'll just show you in game because it's basically the same thing. So I'm actually a big fan of these talents. It does make Demonology feel still pretty thematic. On Death's Door here, sorry. But thank you, Corey. Wow, what a nice appearance in the video. Hold on, Corey. Corey, say hi to YouTube. Not top YouTube. Close enough. Corey. Good job, Corey. Anyways, so basically what they've done, they put Hellbent Commander here. Your demons deal 2% increased damage for each demon you control. So this is actually pretty powerful. Now, you don't have Tyrant extensions anymore with imps, but they do still extend your dogs and your Vile Fiend through Ray of Tyranny here, right? You can get 9, 12 imps out still regardless, whatever, with like hands and relations, no big deal. But your demons will deal more damage the larger armor you have. Very cool. I think there's a talent like this back in the past, in like Legion maybe, but very cool to see. It'll like ramp your damage a bit, but not like in a, this is punishing if you scuff it kind of way. It is bugged right now with Inner Demons. Whenever an imp expires, you get one more stack here. This is why I can't test damage for Demo right now very much. It just keeps stacking to like 7, 8, 9, 10 stacks. Unless they hotfixed it. They might have hotfixed it. Nope. There's another stack right there. It'll stack to 99. Even death won't clear the debuff. So it might be a little skewed in testing today. We'll see where that goes. But that's pretty cool. Pretty strong talent everywhere, universally. And this leads into Hell and Back. Passive. Power Siphon and Implosion. Summon 1 Imp Gang boss for every 2 Wild Imp sacrifice. This is old Imp Gang boss. This is, in a sense, this is very similar to what we talked about in the feedback video last week. Talked about giving Implosion, Siphon's in here too, which is cool, but giving Implosion a reward for hitting it. Like, I don't love it being a cooldown still. I wish it wasn't a cooldown, but honestly, it's semi-justifiable now being a half-minute cooldown, because when you hit it, it rewards you with something like exciting. It gives you 3 Imp Gang bosses, which do count as wild imps, to clarify. And when they spawn in, they have a buff called Unstable Soul, increases fireball damage, and causes the firebolts to cleave. They're like machine gun firebolts. It's pretty crazy. Now, to clarify, these imps, Imp Gang bosses themselves, if you're playing the talent, Hand of Gul'dan will summon 2 wild imps and 1 Imp Gang boss. The Imp Gang boss is considered a wild imp. So like if I'm playing Imp Gang boss and I cast 2 Hand of Gul'dans, I'll technically have 2 Imp Gang bosses. I'll have 2 Imp Gang bosses and 4 wild imps. This does read wild imps every 2 wild imps. So assumingly if I had 2 Imp Gang bosses and 4 wild imps from 2 Hand of Gul'dans, I'd implode and only get 2 Imp Gang bosses from this. But no, Imp Gang bosses from Hand of Gul'dans do count as wild imps. Imp gang bosses count as wild imps. So you cast 2 Handy Gul'dans, get 6 imps total out, implode. You're gonna get 2. You're gonna get 3 imp gang bosses back from this, right? Very cool. These imps here do not cleave. Only the ones you get from the implosion or the siphon will cleave. Only the ones you get from these, if you have this talent, will have the unsavable soul debuff. So there's that. Besides that, they buffed Doomguard by 50%. They didn't fix the pathing here, which is sort of weird. I don't know what to do about that. Yeah, basically it. But I want to show you the imps because they're pretty sick. So I will say pathing for Doomguard is still weird. I don't know how to play this talent anywhere. To get it, you have to like pull out a vial thing and things now. It seems really awkward. I don't know what they're going to do about that. But it is what it is. So let's take a look here. I'm going to head in. My weak aura bug, that's fine, don't worry about it. So I'm going to cast a couple of Handy Gul'dans. I have 3 shards here. It is a little buggy right now. Our Apex talents are working, but they're buggy. I'll show you in a minute here how. So I have 6 imps out. I have 8 technically. I'm going to implode, and I have 3 imping bosses now. And look at them. Look at the bolts. The big wave of 5 bolts each. The big like the machine gun bolts. These spawn from the implosion or the siphon, and will AOE fire bolts onto these mobs. Pretty cool. They actually do a decent bit of damage. They're higher than implosion in an average breakdown. It's pretty decent, I'd say, overall. On top of that, I want to reload here. Blizzard also added a way to track imps outside of implosion. So they've made wild imps basically a buff on the player. Right now, this is my buff. Wild imps, I have 1. If I leave combat here, I won't be able to because I'm stuck in combat with these imps on dummies, but if I left combat and 2 spawned in, it would show a 2. If I cast Handed Gul'dan here, and build some shards, it'll show probably 4. Yeah, 4. See 4 right there. And right here, you can now add this effect to the cooldown tracker, the cooldown manager. This is baseline in-game. So that's how you track your imps now. I mean, there's no bars. You can make it, it's CDM, right? You can make it a bar, but it doesn't show like individual wave of imp durations. Like no like tick lines in the bar that counts down. It just puts it right here. Anyway, if you summon them, it just shows like the icon. That's it. Maybe that's coming. I don't know. Either way, you can see a 4 right there. If I put 4 up here. If I put it back, it would show, you know, the icon with a 4. So that's a bit of a plus as far as tracking imps is concerned. Let me implode one more time because it's pretty cool. Implode. There are the imp bosses, and watch them nuke. Watch them nuke. Boom, boom. It's pretty cool. Pretty sick. It does feel like a lot like old Imp Gang boss. And the positive note, or positive side of it, is whenever you siphon as well, siphon will spawn 2 imps. If you sack 2 imps to... Or actually, it'll spawn... Sorry, 1 imp. Yeah, I'm dumb. 1 imp, I guess. Whatever. Yeah. Only if you siphon 2 imps, though. If you siphon at a weird time and 1 Imp Gang boss expires, you're not getting an imp. It's gotta be 2. So, heads up. Yeah, but that is basically it for Demonology. Now, as far as Destro is concerned, it got a handful of changes too, and I'm still sort of split on it. In the end, man, honestly, I've come to the conclusion that Destro's Destro. I mean, and I've said it for a long time, it's Destro. If you played it in the last 10 years, it's still Destro. It still is, man. I don't know. It's whatever. But some interesting changes to Destro today. So, first thing here, talents have moved around. They're a little better, I'd say, overall. New talent, Inferno. Reduces the cooldown of Infernal by half a minute and increases Mastery by 3%. So, like, if you're trying to sync Infernal to Malevolence for the haste buff and, like, the shards spending their Malevolence for Hellcaller, probably not the best talent. But if you're playing Diabolist, this is a minute and a half Infernal. But you could even play it as Hellcaller if you want to, for whatever reason. Odd timing-based cooldowns are often valuable at times. Like, you see a lot of 2-minute profiles. You see a lot of, like, 3-minute profiles or like 4-minute profiles. But, like, minute profiles. Like, Demonology back in, like, Shadowlands. I mean, now as well, you know, obviously, right? But, like, minute Tyrant. Or, like, minute and a half Infernal. Not every class has, like, a major cooldown tied to a minute profile. Or a minute and a half profile. That can be useful in certain scenarios where, like, you might need to carry a certain fight at a minute and a half timestamp with Havoc Cleave, where other classes can't. Other classes have 2 minutes or 2.5 minutes or whatever, right? So maybe at times you want talent into that. Maybe you do, maybe you don't, but worth keeping in mind regardless. And for M+ and Dablist, probably pretty good. New talent, Raging Demon Fire. This is just back. CDF got its RDF clause back over here, which is nice. Let me change here. It's nice. I mean, honestly, like without it, without having RDF, CDF as a capstone just feels terrible. It doesn't do anything. The damage is still pretty subpar right now, but at least you have Wither extensions back. Wither or Immolate extensions. You do still have Roaring Blaze, but it's not smart. It doesn't refresh on low duration mobs. I tried it a bunch. I was hitting these 5 dummies earlier with 5 Immolates on them. It literally refreshed on the same 2 4 times over, and 3 Immolates fell. We need this thing back. Unless they make like this stuff smart for both Roaring Blaze and Shared Agony, we need this back. Especially for our capstones. This is back. Sends again. Nice, cool, good to see. Here's Inferno, the Infernal cooldown reduction right here. Here's Chaos Incarnate. They restructured a bit down here. As you can see, capstones. They're better in both single target and AoE, but still a couple little weird things along the way. Back to this briefly. So Devastation, new talent. I think it's the same thing. I don't know. More crit damage. Ruin, same thing. Dimensional Rift has changed. It's now a passive. Chaos Bolt and Shadowrun have a 10% chance to rip open a hole in space and time, opening a rift. I was really hoping they'd build upon rifts with the whole section of the tree, but I don't know. It's almost at the point where it's like Vile Taint, where I'm just like, whatever, I don't care anymore. It's still cool, but like, it could be so much cooler. But at the same time, just whatever. It's fine. I don't know. I'm tired, boss. It's fine. Rift is it is what it's gonna be. I don't know. But it's there. We'll get to that in a minute. Avatar has been redesigned. It hasn't been. It's the same thing. Opening a rift has a chance to summon an overlord, but rift is passive now. Soulfire still does every time. Same thing here. Chaos Bolt is top of the tree now, whatever. Chaos Bolt nerf, Conflagrate nerf, Incinerate nerf, Lake of Fire nerf. Soulfire's cast time is 3.5. These are removed as well. It's 2.5 in game for me. It's hasted. So that's sitting right here, 2.5. With Backdraft, it's even shorter. So it honestly feels sort of like a Chaos Bolt in a sense now. It's fine. You just hit it, whatever. So a couple of issues here I'm still concerned about. When it comes to single target playing a build like this, I want to grab Chaos Incarnate, but I can't. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 spent over here. Now, I could just skip Inferno, but I can't because it's locked behind Inferno. Conflagration of Chaos is down here. Can you make this a capstone talent? It's probably fine, but like, I think we just bump this up back up here and just delete Chaotic Inferno. I don't think it really matters much. You can just buff Chaos Bolt to compensate for the damage increase. The instant casting's fine. It's buff it by 10%. Who knows? We can just put this up here. It literally buffs Shadowburn, so it connects to Shadowburn. You can just like bump this up here, delete this thing, and then make it so you have an extra point down here, essentially, right? I can put a point up here, like in this over this, right? And then we can get, we can get Avatar and Incarnate and get other quality life talents like Embers and other stuff too, right? Because you have a 2-point node here and a 2-point node here, and between like needing improved Chaos Bolt, needing Embers, basically needing Conflagration of Chaos, it's tough to get this node here. I can't get it in single target or AoE. It's really tough because AoE I want to have Rapidity, I want to have Embers, I want to have Ire, I want to have this. There's 4 or 5. Obviously want to improve Bolt. I don't really need this, but I want this for reduced cast time, and I want I can put a point over here in CDF over Conflagration and like pull a point out of like Fire and Brimstone, I guess, but it's really awkward. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 points, and like, what do I pull up here to get a point down here? I'm already not in Flashpoint or Fire and Brimstone. I think the captains are close to being like accessible for both versions of Destro, single target and AoE, but I think this could be bumped up here. Put this here, delete this maybe, like possibly, if Blitz thinks is right. Bump this up here, delete this thing, and this make it so you can get, 1 point down here. I can't get this with other build, but I want it, but I just can't get it. Right? It gets even worse for Havoc Cleave. Like, it's a little scary. What do I do? But the capstones I think are better. I've come to the acceptance phase of like Soulfire and Rift being a combined node here. I don't know. Soulfire, 2.5 second cast time, hasted, backdraft, where's backdraft? Here, yeah. It'll reduce Soulfire's cast time even more. It's fine. It might be buggy. I don't think it was doing it earlier actually, but either way, it'll spawn a Overlord whenever you cast Soulfire. You're just playing Soulfire. Rifts have a 1 in 10 chance to proc from Chaos Bolt and Shadow Burn. Shadow Burn's really bad damage-wise right now. It is really bad. They removed the talent that made it guaranteed crit as well. It used to be right here in between these two. They removed that and just left this thing here, which gives you crit strikes from by Chaos Bolt. All the spells have a 1 in 10 chance to make a Shadow Burn instant with no shard cost and free, basically. This thing hits like a wet noodle. And you have RNG on RNG on RNG if you decide to play Rift here, right? So let's say you play Rift. You have Chaos Bolt giving you a 1 in 10 chance to proc a Rift. So there's that. And if that happens, you have then a low chance to proc an Overfiend from the low chance from the Rift procking from the Chaos Bolt cast. Now, if you play Shadow Burn, which does sort of feed into the Rift build a bit more, which is sort of cool actually, you have Chaos Bolt, Conflagrate, or Incinerate giving you a 1 in 10 chance to make Shadow Burn ability you can hit above 20% health on a boss. You can't hit this button. It's grayed out unless the mob is below 20%, barring getting a proc from Fiendish Cruelty. So you have a 10% chance to proc Shadow Burn, which then would give you a small chance to proc a Rift, 10% chance, which then on that 10% chance, you have a lower chance to then proc an Overlord. So it's a chance on a chance on a chance on a chance. I sat there for 2.5 minutes and couldn't get this thing to proc one time. Playing this build. Just forget all this garbage. Just here. If you're in a single target, just do this. Just do something like this, and I don't know, put this point somewhere else and just play this. Just do that. Don't play Rift. Don't bother with this for now. If this is buffed substantially, great. If they make it so it procs more, great. But at this current point in time, just don't bother with this stuff. It seems like it's like a 10% chance, a 10% chance, 10% chance on top of each other. It's never going to proc. I might win the lottery tomorrow. Higher chance of this thing procking through a Shadow Burn with this and it is. So, I don't know. It's whatever. In the end, though, like, I think the tree looks better. They bumped Ember Storm up here. It used to be sitting right here, and this was like Flashpoint, which is here now, and this was Fire and Brimstone. You had to path through one of these to get this, which is like a universally applicable talent. Way better having it up here. Great change. Very cool. You can just get it now and skip these if you want. Besides that, everything else is pretty much the same. I think if you move Conflagration up here, just delete this thing. It gives the last point you need to like get your capstones in this row and get these as well. Otherwise, you probably just skip maybe something of these. I don't know. You can also just path through here to get Embers and go here instead of like 2 points in Devastation, but it feels bad. But I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with Shadow Burn. I don't know. I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, hey, you know what, brother? We press on. But I think it's actually very cool, the Shadow Burn thing with Fiendish Cruelty, but the damage is way low. The proc chance to be higher for this to like give you a Shadow Burn cast outside of like the 20% health threshold. This seems to be a lot higher for Shadow Burn probably as well. And yeah, a chance on a chance on a chance on a chance just feels so bad. I'd love a whole Rift row, but it ain't happening at this point. But that's that. So those are the changes. Yeah. Thanks for watching. So yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching, guys. Wraps it up. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully helped clarify on some of the lock changes today. I'm happy with demo changes are good for the most part. Aff, I don't know. I have to play with it more. Some things are good. I love Vizdoom being around. Super sick. Cool change to Dark Lair. Destro changes. The tree feels better to path through. CDF change is good. Shadowburn and Rifts, I don't know what's going on with that. It's just one of those things where you just say, hey, it's over there. It's like Oblivion for Aff. It's over there, but I'm not going to look at it. Just, it's over there. Destro, man. He played it for the last 20 years. It's the same thing, you know. That's that. And yeah, we'll see where it goes. There's raid testing today. This video is coming out at 8:30 a.m. It's happening at like 1 p.m. today or 2. I'll be streaming it here on Twitch. Or on Twitch and here on YouTube. If you want to check it out, come by, feel free. That's that. Thank y'all for all support. If you guys want any profiles or anything, links appear as well as down below in the description. And a huge thank you to my supporters on Patreon, always, for all that. Thank y'all so much. I greatly appreciate it. If they're supporting on Patreon, also link up here as well as down below. And the 12.0 Warlock Midnight Beta spreadsheet is indeed now available on Patreon for the Tier 3 Felgar rank or higher for early access, but it always comes out public before the expansion releases. So heads up, if you don't want to get early access, it'll be out there regardless before it opens up. So that's that. But yeah, Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. I'm going to bed. I'm tired, hungry, and I'll see y'all later on in raid testing. Peace.